Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
We got you, Mr. Dariush. Can you hear us?
Yes.
All right. Well, first off, thank you very much for making the time to come and talk with your fans, especially myself. I'm speaking on behalf of everybody else at this moment, but I'm sure they'll want to say how they feel about you in a moment. Before I go any further, congratulations onto the new addition to the Dariush family, sir. So big blessings on that. Um, how do you feel with is this child number 2?
Yeah, this is my second baby. I'm feeling great about it. Very happy. Children are a blessing from the Lord, so I'm just trying to get as many as I can.
Hey, that's nothing wrong with that, man. And gotta once again to say blessings to you and your family. I know that's an exciting time. Also, an extra element of life, something else to take your energy and efforts. But I'm sure you're going to be able to handle all of those challenges and flying with flying colors like you do. All the other challenges we get to see you face, in the octagon, but life has so many others. Do want to talk about another challenge in life that you help others deal with, and that being a little attention to the promisechild.org, that wonderful charity that I know you're a part of, and Sean, who linked us together, proudly part of helping children in, let's just face it, in terrible, shitty situations. So I just want to say, anybody out there, go check out promisechild.org. It's a wonderful organization that helps children who are displaced via war or whatever terrible things that life throws at you. But just know that you can make a difference, and helping each other is really, like really what life's all about. I mean, I'm sure Dariush can tell you from his own self. He didn't get this good at mixed martial arts training all by himself. Isn't that right, Benny?
Yes, that's true.
So, go out there and help. Promisechild.org. Once again, I'll share that tweet up at the top so everybody can see it in just one moment. I'm doing it right now. Sometimes it takes a second to cross over into the Megatron. So, Beneil, now it's all about you. That's what the people want to talk about. That's who they came to support, man. I want to tell you that you probably are fully aware of this in your daily life, but man, you cause a positive feeling amongst fans. There's in this era, we got a lot of people playing characters and a lot of people kind of playing the bad guy, maybe to get ratings up or whatever they want. You, on the other hand, man, you're not one of those. You're a straight shooter and always about doing things the clean and right way. So I want to talk about your 50 times clean testing jacket from USADA, man. How was that moment for you?
It was cool. I've been in the program for like 7 years, or maybe longer, and coming out clean for all my tests is pretty important because I know a lot of other athletes who didn't. And then I've seen the landscape of MMA change so much ever since USADA came. People who were used to be ranked top 5, top 10, no longer, and and things just have changed. So uh, it's cool to be on that list.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be a super long list of people who've done 50 clean tests, so that's pretty major. Um, Now, dealing with that kind of ever-present element we seem to kind of hear all the time is that, oh well, people are going to cheat. People are, anytime you have competition and money and humans, you're going to have cheating. Now, as you being the other guy of that equation, the person that could be on the other hand of dealing with cheating, what do you take from that mentality of people saying, well, hey, they're going to juice up, just let them juice up? What do you think about that kind of stuff?
Uh, you know, I don't. I'm not a big fan of the idea. In other sports, you could make a better case for it, but in a combat sport where somebody could die, our health is far more in jeopardy. If I'm definitely not about it. And then also think about the long-term repercussions of PEDs.
Right.
Typically, they have terrible repercussions like depression, uh, just
All the different types of organ failures and stuff, right? Like that.
organ failure, like your organs actually hardened. There's multiple issues, and I'm just right now I'm trying to think about them, and there's a lot. You know, there's mental issues, there's physical issues, and it's just I don't see like how that one thing outweighs everything else, all the other negative effects. So I don't understand how they could say, well, whatever, if they want to do it, let them do it. But all these negative effects, we're just gonna ignore.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that. It seems like a pretty much a solid argument in one direction. You don't need to debate it much. Overall health is always the premium of every athlete, and then of course, like you said, in combat sports, I mean, let's face it, you are damaging each other already. Don't need to do anything that's going to risk long-term or internal damage at all. Now, speaking of fighting the clean way and doing it for a long time, and once again, I can't tell you enough how much that sends a good message to the current training, young training people out there, to the young kids that like you don't have to cheat. So, Mr. Dariush, I just want to tell you from the fans, like, thank you. I know it's harder. I know, and all that other stuff. Like, I know the negative side you just talked about, but in reality, you setting a good example to many other future athletes is also important. So thank you for that. Now, with someone that I know you kind of got quoted, somebody brought this up and asked you a question about it, so I'm going to expand a little bit on it. Talking about people, and we don't have to specifically target McGregor himself, but he's not alone. A lot of fighters seem to be, I'm putting air quotes that you can't see, retiring out of the USADA pool so that they can, you know, do what they feel like they have to do outside of the testing pool. Uh, how do you? I know your basic opinion of it is that it's terrible, but do you think it should just be so blatant? Like, shouldn't this should be fixed, right?
You mean the USADA situation, how they're able to leave in order to take steroids or PEDs,
Yes.
and then come back into the USADA pool? Well, I mean, there's really nothing you could do about that, right? Like if an athlete says, "Hey, I'm retired," you can't keep him on that USADA list. But I like what USADA's doing is they're saying, hey, you're gonna need 6 months of being in the testing pool and 2 clean tests minimum. That's minimum, so it could be more tests. These are, I mean, USADA is doing everything they can in order to keep the athlete accountable. There's that's really there's nothing else they could do. So all that's left is up to the athlete. Now, if they don't hold them accountable for 6 months and 2 clean tests, then we have a problem.
Right. And like you said, that starts to mess with people's, their livelihood, their well-being, their existence as a human. So that's very serious stuff. Do you find that stipulation satisfactory enough for you personally? Is 2 clean tests and 6 months of total testing good enough for you to feel comfortable in there?
Yeah, I think so. I think you know I'm trying to think like what else they can add, but that's pretty good because you have to be clean for 6 months. Meaning, typically, if you're on stuff, whatever you're on, in 6 months, you're gonna lose the benefits. Obviously, I know there's certain things that the benefits stay longer, but overall, in terms of PEDs goes, 6 months is long enough for you to lose the benefits of those PEDs, and then now you're coming in to a more equal playing field. So I think the rule's good enough.
Respect that and appreciate your answer there. Now, something I like to ask a lot of fighters, and I love it because the answer varies so greatly. You've obviously been fighting a really long time in the UFC, 9 years in total for the UFC, and only for one organization prior to that. So, with that being said, pre-fight nerves. Do you get your pre-fight nerves in a certain place, a certain time, or does it vary for you?
Just the day of the fight, I get the nerves. the day of the fight is really intense, and I get the nerves, and you just kind of deal with it. That's all it is. I mean, you kind of want the nerves because the nerves keep you sharp. But if the nerves are so overwhelming where they cripple you, then that's a problem. Then you need to kind of check yourself and see where you're at mentally and spiritually.
And whoa, there you go. That's a fresh one. I've never heard this and spiritually part. So I thank you for adding that. That's real. Now you said that happens for you day of fight. Um, and do you do anything to deal with it, or do you just let it pass through you?
Uh, Obviously, I meditate and pray, but like I said, it's one of those things where you're gonna have to take them up on your shoulders, and you can't let them cripple you. So you have to. It's another battle you have to overcome before the fight.
Dang, the fight within the fight, y'all. Heard that. And you're hearing it from one of the best in the world, man. He's been doing this a while, doing it against a lot of people. So you just heard that straight from the man himself. Um, I'm gonna let anybody who wants to ask Beneil a question. Open up the request for microphones. I'll get to them in order that I get them. Also use the hand up emoji if you have a question for him. I'll definitely get to you and want to hear your thoughts for sure. Now, last thing before we go into other people's questions, and man, I'm sure at this point you're just ready for it and tired of talking about it. Obviously, the rescheduling between you and Charles Oliveira, that's obviously not ideal. You're ready to fight. You're ready to go. Um, how do you deal with the mental part of that? Like, do you like punch the bags extra hard, or do you just chill out and, like you said, meditate? Like, I know you got this big fight coming, and now it's just got to wait a little bit longer. So how are you dealing with that, sir?
So what I do is I pull back. I have to take it easy in my training this week. This week has been a very low intensity week. It's been more focused on just maintaining my weight and doing like one practice to stay sharp. But overall, I've been spending more time with my family because I can't be in a camp for 20 weeks and going hard for 20 weeks. That's how injuries happen.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. I also seen in a previous interview that you're a little upset. You wanted this fight to kind of basically happen already, so you have your time with the family and all that. Um, is that something?
Yes.
Is that something you kind of keep in your mental back pocket, if you will, going into the battle?
I don't want to fight emotional, so I'm obviously it's bothering me, but I have to I just stay disciplined and I do what I need to do in order to be victorious.
Man, spoken like a true champ right there. That was a killer answer, my dude. Now, no disrespect and not trying to go too further, and you can shut this question down, but like in imagination land, Benil Dariush stands amongst, above them all with the belt, and you're getting your first title defense. Who would do you have an ideal title defense in your mind?
Well, let's see. Probably like the winner of Justin Gagey and Dustin Poirier, or maybe 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 Armand Sarukian or Mateus Gamrot, if they're victorious again. It just depends. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months, but basically somebody from the top five, top six, top seven.
All right, that sounds good to me, and I think you already know which direction the people want to see it. Benil, you got a few moments to take some questions from the fans.
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right. Now, once again, people, make your mic requests so I know who wants to speak. Use that emoji, a heart plus icon far right. Get the hand up. Also, follow Benil Dariush if you're not already. I don't know what you're doing, so go ahead and follow him and show him your support. I'm gonna put the microphone in the hands of all nonsense. You there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here. Do you hear me okay?
Got you. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Just two things real quick. One, I really like what Daniel said about the fight day nerves. Got me thinking about like Jocko Willink. says about that. He's a former special forces guy, and he talks about the fight they made.
I I hate
Old,
I hate to step on you, all nonsense. I hate to step on you, but like I lost you there. But your clarity of your call kind of got a little rough. Can you get
You
closer
hear
to
me
your mic?
now?
Yeah, there you go. There you
You
go.
hear me now? All right, cool. I just had to switch mics. All right, I'll go ahead and say the first thing I said just for the sake of time. Question. So, Beneil, when it came to this fight elongation, do you think that gives you more time to work on your game? Did you have anything that you felt like you needed to work on for Charles?
I feel pretty prepared, but there's always things you can make better. So I wouldn't say I'm adding too many new things, but I'm definitely gonna sharpen the things that I already working on.
There you go. He's very aware of the dangerous opponent in front of him. But yeah, that's a common thing you hear from fighters at the top of the game. Is like adding too many new things actually becomes like a problem. So, all right, we're gonna go to Andrew. How you doing, buddy?
Rob, how are you, man? Thanks for having me,
Good,
man.
bro. Of course.
Beneil, how are you today? Thanks for having us. We appreciate you.
No problem, Andrew.
I
Thank
have
you.
a question for you. So, we know, unfortunately, this is a business, and unfortunately, meritocracy isn't always a thing. We all know you are in line for a title shot. You go out there, you beat Charles. I'm not saying you have to get on the mic and call everyone a bunch of dirty Brazilians or everything, but do you have anything spicy up your sleeve that you could say on the mic that could potentially get you a title shot?
No, I think beating Charles will be enough.
There you go. Right like that. And I think you're right. Um, I think you're right in that regard. Like beating Charles is definitely more validation than anything that could be said. But does I want to expand on Andrew's question, but in this era where it seems like the quickest way to get what you want is to have a soundbite that travels the internet. Do you find it frustrating? That you're obviously killing 8 opponents in a row, and still have to fight one more against an incredible tough opponent.
No, I mean I signed up to fight the best guys in the world, right? That's my job. So if you're not chasing money and you're not so focused on money, if you think about it, I'm nothing's changed for me. I'm fighting the best guys in the world, and I got nothing really to complain about. Oh, people were like, when they offered me Charles, everybody's like, oh, what? He has to go through another killer. I was like, but I'm over here like, oh, great, I get to go through another killer. So I think a lot of it is just mindset. These guys just they're so focused on the wrong things, and so sometimes they feel like victims, but I'm not a victim, man. I'm a victor, and Charles is a it's a privilege for me to fight him.
Man, that's warrior speak right there, folks. That's that. Oh wow. I think you just whatever. You already have a room full of fans in here, man, and you just made them all more proud to be your friend with that answer. I tell you that much right now. Aprim, and I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah, you are. What's up, Beneil? How are you?
Good, brother.
This
How are
is
you?
your Assyrian brother. I'm also Assyrian. I just want to say you've made my people proud. I'm so happy and I'm so thankful for everything you've done for us. My question is, what's your dream UFC matchup?
I mean, ideally it would be Habib, right? He's the best lightweight in the world. So ideally after beating Charles, then Makachev, then I would have an opportunity to fight him. But obviously, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I see. Thank you so much for letting me speak with you. I really appreciate it, Beneil.
My pleasure, brother.
All right, thanks Aprim for that. That was great, dude. And I'm gonna put the mic in Peter Tar. Give you the mic, man. Go for it. And I see Dan. I'll get you in here in just 1 second. Peter Tar, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All
Hey,
right.
Benny, just want to say, absolutely fantastic. I think everything that you're doing is amazing. The road is a little bit longer with the way that you're doing it, but don't change anything. Don't change anything at all. You're winning the fans the way that you're winning a title shot, and that's just by being undeniable. It takes a little bit longer than talking trash on the microphone, but it's a better quality, right? because then everybody comes to organically appreciate everything about you. And also, bless you for everything you're doing. A lot of people don't know, and I know Ben doesn't really ring the bell about this, but the orphanage in Haiti and everything that you've done, that's absolutely beautiful. That deserves shine. So just want to put some shine on you with the quick moment that I have. Hopefully some of my followers are listening. And also, Shlam Aloch.
Appreciate it, brother. Shalom aloch.
That is beautiful. Hell yeah. Love, man. And everybody in this room, go ahead and follow everybody else, man. That's how we build a community bigger and keep all that positive energy moving forward and to affect more and more people in a positive way. Den, you got the floor, my man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, good day, good morning, wherever you are. Beneil, nice to have you with us. I've got one question, and it's anytime, any place, any opponent, alive or dead, who would you pick to have a fight with?
Wow. If we're talking alive for MMA, like I I mentioned Habib. Obviously, he's the lightweight goat. But like guys like GSP were the reason why I got into MMA. I would love to have fought him. And then if we're talking about dead, obviously, boxing is much older, so there's a lot more to pick from. But the opportunity just to go inside the ring with a guy like Muhammad Ali or like uh, Rocky Marciano was not that big. People don't realize it, but he wasn't huge.
Right.
So obviously, still much bigger than me. But these guys, even Joe Frazier, wasn't really a huge heavyweight. I wouldn't. It doesn't sound fun because how powerful they were, but it would it would be it would be such an honor to be able to share the ring with these guys. So there's a lot of on the list. Manny Pacquiao is another guy. I have so much love and appreciation for him. I would just, even if it was just a practice, I would actually prefer more of a practice than an actual fight. There's a lot of guys, man. A lot of like Robert Duran. There's boxing. Boxing's much older, so there's a lot of older boxers that I would want to be able to share the ring with.
Sounds like you like testing yourself, my brother. I like
Yeah.
it. Thanks for answering, man. God bless you. All the best.
God bless, Fred. Take care.
And since we're kind of rubbing right next to that topic, I feel odd not asking. Benil, we got a lot of this modern crossover of MMA fighters into boxing. Would you consider fighting, one of these celebrity matchups in boxing?
I mean, it depends. Like, my job is MMA. I don't really feel the need to go into boxing and to make my living off of boxing, right?
Respect.
But for example, if you're gonna be like, okay, let's have you box somebody for charity, and it's obviously I don't want to fight a bum or like a boxer who's older and retired. If it's someone who's very good and it's an opportunity for me to learn and test myself, I would definitely jump on that.
Well, once again, sounds like you're a man for a challenge, so I appreciate tackling that straight on there. So, all nonsense. You got the floor. Go for it.
Just to be a little goofy, if there was a team that you would want to train with, who would you want to train with, and why is it the Diaz brothers?
Uh, I mean, I'd like to kind of get an idea how the Diaz brothers train with in terms of their cardio, but to be honest, I don't like their style. I don't think it's very pretty, and I think they take a lot of damage. But I will say their cardio is something fantastic. So I would like to learn that. Um, there's the guys in New Zealand for sure. They would be cool to train with. They seem like a great team. The Dagestani guys, they have a certain skill set that I think would be cool to learn from. I'm not. The thing is, I am a big. I think having gym loyalty is really important. But if I wasn't a fighter, and I was just a fan, all these guys, they would be so cool. So I would love to be able to like move around and try training with everybody and understand how they do the things they do.
I appreciate that answer. Once again, killing these answers. And since we're on that topic, how long have you been with Kings, sir?
Uh, maybe 15 years. I mean,
Jeez,
I
that's a
turned
while, huh?
yeah, I turned pro in 2009. But I didn't have any actual MMA experience. It was one of those things where I just jumped on a fight, and at that time there was no amateurs. So I turned pro in 2009, and I met Rafael Cordero around that time. I want to say, or was it? I may have met him, yeah, something like that. So I've known him since 2009.
Now, speaking of that, I want to go just a touch further. I know we're almost at your time that you got to go, so I want to squeeze in a couple of these topics before we run out of time. Talking about that, you come from the era that amateur, amateur fighting wasn't happening really. It wasn't a thing. You had to earn your stripes the hard way. Um, do you find the current time in MMA like easier than it was for you to break into the sport? And I know every generation, era per era, always argues, who had it harder. But considering the more organizations that seem to be out there and the amateur route, do you think it was harder for you to get in your debuts?
No, I think actually it's harder now.
Oh,
I
okay.
think because think about it like this: there's guys that are like 25, 24 who are in my like look at Arman Sarukian, for example. The kid's 26 and he's top 10 in the world, and he's very good. There's a lot of young people. You have to, I started at 18. I didn't start at at 5 or 6 or whatever. So I think it's a lot harder now. Everybody has to train a lot harder. They have to start earlier, and they they have to specialize in so many different skills so early. So I think, in reality, it's like that with every sport.
Right.
Uh, the sport continues to grow, and the athletes get better. So the next generation has to be better in order to come in there and to be able to compete. Obviously, there's always few athletes there that are just like they their skills are so unique that they can transcend time. But overall, I would say you have to have more skill nowadays. Obviously, you can talk about social media, how if you have a big following, it's easier to become a fighter and get into the UFC. But getting into the UFC isn't the hard part. It's staying in the UFC that's hard.
Damn right. That is very true. We're seeing it on a weekly basis now. Almost people not making the grade anymore. Mr. Dariush, I appreciate your time. I don't want to push it any further. I know you got life, babies, and everything else going on. Do you got to go, or do you got a couple more questions in you?
I can do 2 more questions and I gotta go.
Perfect, perfect. Because we got 2 hands up, so that nails it. All right, we're gonna go to Shred the Gnar. You there, sir?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
All right. You got your question? Oh, Shrednar, you there?
I feel like he's trying to talk, but he can't get it through.
Yeah, that was weird. It was working for a second, and then it kind of.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, Beneil, when you beat Islam, what round? How do you do it?
I think it'll be in the early rounds. I think I'm just gonna overwhelm him.
Nice, sounds good. One quick question. You mentioned Habib. What do you think about Gleason versus Habib? Your thoughts on that fight?
Oh, I thought Gleason won that fight for sure.
Thank you.
Boom.
That's all I wanted to hear. I thought the same. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Shred. And last but not least, Brother Marlon, what you got?
But Neil, I wanted to get your pick for the boxing match tomorrow. Ryan Garcia and Gervonta. What do you got for that fight tomorrow?
It's a tough call, man. I think this is what I think. I think it's gonna be where Garcia's gonna be winning some rounds. He'll be pulling ahead on the scorecards, but I think Gervonta could catch him and drop him. What's his name? Was it Delgado that Gervonta was boxing with, right? And a lot of people thought Delgado was up on the rounds, but then Gervonta found a way to finish it. I think it might be similar to that.
I got you. Appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Dariush, thank you so much for your time, answering all of our questions, being a great example to what being a proper sportsman is all about. Also setting an example of, being a good dad and stuff. So, you got a room full of fans, room full of supporters here. Everybody follow Beneil Dariush if you're not already doing so. Once again, please check out the pinned tweet at the top. PromiseChild.org is a wonderful charity that he represents and is a part of, that helps underprivileged children around the world get the basically all the basics in life that sometimes we take for granted. They need it. So definitely support that. And of course, Mr. Dariush will be cheering in all our different sections of the world come June 10th for you versus Mr. Oliveira. Anything else you'd like to close out with, sir?
Just appreciate for having me on, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming by. I'll close this session. It is recorded, so you can listen to it, whatever parts you missed, and share it with your friends. Let them know that Beneil Dariush came by to talk with his fans because he cares. He's a good guy. And then shout out for myself. If you guys don't already follow me or at the AllStar Sport, please do so.